Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love. American
Listen up, Autothoughts and Decepticons. You're listening to Prime Cuts, a Transformers television podcast where we're going through the history of the Transformers franchise on television, but not in chronological order. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey.
I'm the other host, Nero. Well,
Armada might be good.
Yeah, these episodes are pretty good. We are very, very close to the sort of, in the dub at least, the rebranding, the subtitling of Unicron battles, which is when shit really starts to pop off. Yeah, so, sometimes you just sort of, you're at a crossroads in your life, right? And you make a choice. And then you double back on the choice, and you just sort of, rapidly oscillate between several different paths in life so fast that it,
that you create a giant laser.
Yeah, that you create the Death Star. So we watched... What episodes are these? Tubi has once again...
37 and 38.
Thank you. Tubi has just reduced all
Yeah.
attempts to track what episode I'm watching now. It's like, oh yeah, this is season 3, episode 14. What does that mean? Nothing. This show doesn't have seasons. Anyway, this first one here out of our paired set is in the dub called Crack.
In the sub, it is Pride, and there's some really good lines at the end of it that justify that title for it, which I was very excited about.
So immediately we start out here, and continuing the worst relationship imaginable. Thrust and Sideways are plotting. Here's what I love about Thrust, right? So obviously,
I don't like anything about Thrust.
So and me on the other hand, he's my favorite character out of the show because, one, he is smarter than everyone else on the team, on his faction. But he is also stupid and arrogant enough to be played like a goddamn fiddle by our beloved little cosmic manipulator here.
It is very rewarding to watch Double-Face barely even try. He's oh yeah, Thrust, this will totally work. You can trust me. And Thrust is constantly I can't trust Double-Face, but unless
yeah, he's he barely has to do any work. He just massages Thrust's ego a little bit. It's hey, listen, I'm telling you all this because, you're the best guy for the job. Honestly, between you and me, that Megatron guy, kind of a dipshit. But you, though, you're perfect. And Thrust is well, that seems very suspicious. However, I do like to be complimented.
I am perfect is the thing about it. And really no one recognizes that about me. It's so weird. But Double-Face does. So I can't not fuck him.
It's hilarious. Yeah, so they're just talking more about hey, listen, put those 3 minicon weapons together. That's where the magic happens, baby. So they got to get that back. And Thrust is well, good thing for you, Sideways. I've already got a brilliant plan to do so.
Yeah.
So we cut down to the auto base. Everyone is really busy building the shuttle. They're continuing that project.
Their stupid spaceship.
With 2 exceptions. One exception is Jetfire, who is standing around yelling at everyone to continue working, as is his wont. And the second is Starscream, who thinks this spaceship bullying shit is gay as fuck, and we should just go invade the moon base again instead.
Yeah, every moment that we're putting screws into other pieces of metal is a moment that I could be killing Megatron. Have you thought about that?
And it's so funny because, everyone is just arguing. Blur is fucking bitching at Starscream. Starscream is bitching at Jetfire. Hotshot is bitching at Jetfire. And then Red Alert just looks up and says, hey, shut the fuck up and get back to work. I'm the only one doing anything around here. Stop yammering and pick up a goddamn screwdriver. So of course this ends with Starscream storming off as usual. He specifically says I don't know if I'll ever get used to this fucking Autobot work ethic, man.
I feel like he doesn't specifically say that, Nero.
He does. He literally says Autobot work ethic.
Yeah, but you had the word fucking in there.
Well, no, he doesn't literally say that part. He should. In my redub of Armada.
Yeah, in the Audrey and Nero redux.
Yeah. So, like, it's interesting seeing the kind of lines of people's opinions on Starscream, because obviously Blur and Jetfire are kind of fed up with his shit at this point. Like, Jetfire just had to go on a whole road trip with the dude, and, doesn't seem like that experience exactly brought them closer together.
Though it should have. It hit all the AO3 tropes.
And yet it didn't. Hotshot, on the other hand, he is always trying to, he is frustrated with Starscream, not because he's, tired of it, but, he's like, I know you can do better, bro, come on. I want to be your bud.
And Optimus, takes this opportunity to be like, I see you are frustrated. Have you considered thinking about your differences? Yeah.
He's like, hey, man, listen, I get it, but you gotta... It's Hotshot. Sometimes you gotta reach across the aisle. Yeah,
we're engaging in a new bridge building program.
And it'll go great. So he has a thing where it's like, yeah, I want to keep trying with Starscream because my eventual goal is once we end this war, we all have to figure out a way to coexist peacefully again. We gotta understand the enemy at some point, Hotshot. We can't just shoot him. Which I don't know if Blur would agree with, but that's just Blur.
Silverbolt's fun.
he has a very he's off doing his own thing, and he's all right. Up on the moon base, yet again, Thrust is like, all right, now I know that the past 75 of my plans did not exactly pan out perfectly, but I can get you the shield and the sword. I promise you this, but by tomorrow afternoon I'll have that fucking sword and shield to you, Megatron. Don't you worry. And Megatron just goes like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Megatron's like, doubt.jpg.
Do what you want, I guess, but I'm not marking my calendar or anything.
He also doesn't particularly care. He's like, whatever, I have the Astro Blaster. I
really
don't give a fuck.
I guess it'll be a bonus. Go ahead, do whatever. I'm not really gonna
The Cosmotector and the Star Saber barely on his radar at this point. He's like, I have big gun.
Despite the fact that he saw what they did last episode, he's like, whatever. That's cool, I guess, but this gun is so big. Have you seen how big the gun is, Thrust?
He's really, straight chillin'.
He is. So, Starscream is walking around. This is where he complains about Autobot work ethic. While he's walking around with these Star Saber minicons here, and he gets ambushed by a surprise party. The kids are here.
Led by Alexa.
Yep. So, they wanted to thank him for those cool ass Mars rocks he got them back from that souvenir. So they all banded together and knitted him like a fucking, it's a quilt, but they call it it's like a chamois. You polish stuff with it. It's a quilt. But
in my culture we'd call that a schmata.
Uh-huh. It's obviously not a Transformer-sized quilt, because that would require a metric fuck ton of fabric, I would assume. But
yeah, the mile-long gay pride flag that they marched through New York.
Drape Starscream in that.
Yeah.
So they gave it to him, and everyone pitched in to make it, which is clear because it looks like a bunch of 12-year-olds knitted a quilt. And Starscream is there. He is extremely unsure of what to say in this situation. They're like, "Well, don't you like it?" He's like, "Yeah, I know, I do. I'm just never really been given any gifts before, and I'm not really sure how the sort of events are supposed to go. And everyone finds that very sad.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I've never been given a gift before. And Alexis is like, ooh.
Hi.
Buddy.
Oh, boy. I like that when they give it to him. I think it's Alexis who says, it's a handmade polishing chamois. Use it to polish anything, even a runway. And runway just goes ba ba boop beep boop. And Starscream's only response just to go, I think we should have seen him polishing the minicons with this fucking thing. That would have been really funny.
Baby gets the chamois.
So he eventually does, they tell him, well, what you do is you say thank you. And he is genuinely touched by this little gift, which I think is quite nice.
Yeah.
But
This is Starscream learns the human emotion called friendship.
yeah. And then Jetfire